Alrighty. We're off to the races. So we said somebody, Torah Tzvi Tzedek, Perach Gimel. So Reb Nosson says about the pasuk, Matzah Moitze, I found a woman more bitter than death, or so forth and so on. That somebody who is a tzaddik, will escape, that the money won't consume the days of his life. And only somebody who is a tzaddik or somebody who is connected to the tzaddik, or somebody who is connected to a tzaddik who's, totally clean with his bris kodesh, he is connected to the Or Aponim, the Kedusha, and he can be nitzel from Taivas Moment, Asherlai. And Nosson finishes as follows. Ayen sham betikunim. You look over there in the Tikkun Zohar, on Tikkun Gimel. I'm sorry. The same Tikkun Ayin. And you see wonders. How now, Sheposach Rabbeinu Zichron Livrocha Esenenu, and Rabbeinu Zichron Livrocha opened our eyes, Vigila Lanu Es HaAkdamos HaChadoshos HaNifloes HaNvoim Le'elu Torah Zos. I'm sorry. And revealed to us the wonderful basic knowledge that are laid out in this Torah. I'm sorry, I happen to have a bunch of frogs in my throat, and they are fighting with one another. Now, what Rabbeinu says is spelled out there very, very clearly. And just look deeply, and you will notice. Vayen sham, look in Tikkun Ayin and what's written there. Im zocha. If a person is zocha, if a person is connected to the tzaddik, a person has to be tzaddik and to guard his bris, ezer. If zocha, then she's says this is selo isha ezer kenegdoi. I will make a woman. It should be ezer kenegdoi. So what is ezer kenegdoi? So this says zocha ezer lo zocha kenegdoi. If a person merits, then the woman becomes his aid. If he's lo zocha, then she's against him. She ruins him. So zocha, if a person is zocha to be a tzaddik and to guard his bris, as ezer, he is connected to the Shechina, and it helps him escape the lust for money. Vimlav. And if a person that was not zocha to Shmiras HaBris is connected, then it's against him. He is stuck in a Malchus de Klipa, which is against him, and it drops him into Taivas Moment. Alei Yismael, and on him, on such a person, it is said, and I found more bitter than death the woman. V'dat chol, says the Kohen Zohar. This is the chol, and it also corresponds to the star Shabsai, Uranus, which represents the Malchus de Klipa. In other words, P'chines Atzvus, Morosh Choyrosh, P'chines Chol, Shabsai, Patya Uchma. This is a sadness and depression, which spiritually is the spleen and Uranus, and like a black hole. The lotion of the Mekubalim is it's a black pail made of clay. Ezer, and then the continues. What is Ezer? Das Shchinta, that's a Shchina. Allah Yitmar, upon which it is said, Motza Isha, Motza Toiv. Found a woman, you found good, Vayofek Ratzon Meis Hashem. And you bring about goodwill from Hashem. Begin Davu Amre Mari Matnisin. This is why the Mari Mishnah, those who said, the Mishnah said, Matzah or Moitze. Is it Matzah or is it Moitze? Ayen Sham Heitevaven. Look deeply into it and understand. ותראה שכל דברי רבינו ז"ל מבארים אתה שם בתיקון ג' הנ"ל באר היטב. And now, Reb Nosson goes deeper into this particular teaching, you know, and about this Indian that the mezonos, that bringing about the parnasa of a person is twice as hard as giving birth. Kifayim keyoledo. And what is being brought down here is that the birthing of money, bikdusha, that's the only thing which is called money. This is the only real money. Because money that comes through lust for money, through greed, you don't have any hanoi from it. And it doesn't remain, it doesn't stay. There's no hanoi from it at all. What are you going to do? Like, all right, so you got all this money, and what are you going to do with it? Reb Nosson continues. This Torah, Reb Nosson says, is the language of Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu gave it to him in writing. Adam Makom Shenirsham La'el, until the place where it is mentioned before. Misham Va'ala, and from that place on, Umilshoini, is my language. What are the things that I've heard that were not explicit in the Rebbe's holy speech? And Hashem, there's more words and more inyonim and more comprehensions. And there are more words to be said. What I heard and understood from the Rebbe's holy mouth when I was zoicha to hear from his holy mouth this particular teaching, and this is what it is. He says in Ois Aleph, it says, Koshem Mizonoisov, that the person's sustenance is kiflaim ke'aleda, is twice as hard as a woman that gives birth. And the reason, Ki hayoldes yoledes ramas ein kalen, because a woman gives birth, she has to call 70 voices before she gives birth. The acho in Taivas moment is 140. Yes, kuf mem. There's 140 kalen. That the Shechina screams on those, in lamentation, on those that fall into greed. Uvir Omek Inyan is as follows. In the moment, in money itself, there is an inyan of birth. Because you have to be tried, you have to be tested first, and to be cleansed first in this type of money. It's a very, very important lesson to understand that before a person can be zoiche, to masa matan be'emuna, it's very easily, it's very easy to think, listen, either you do business honestly, or you don't, or you're so-so. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. But what he says so is very similar to, it says, La'ilam, a person should learn Torah, shalol lishmo, shemitoch shalol lishmo ba lishmo. And the Mefarshim all say that what that comes to mean is that there's no way to come to learn Torah Lishma without first having to go through learning Torah Shalom Lishma. There's just no way to do it. So the same thing is with doing Masa Matan Be'emunah. There's no way to do Masa Matan Be'emunah without having to go through and be cleansed and tried and beaten up, shtickle, a little bit, with Taivas Momen. L'arviach velo yelid momon b'kedusha, to give, to earn and to give birth to money b'kedusha. The person has to, really strengthen himself to no end when he's dealing with business, when he's negotiating. Not to fall, not to stumble into taivas moment. His masa matan will be truly in emuno. A person must break and annihilate all the machshavas and all the bilbulim and all the confusions that come upon him when he's doing his business. It's a must. A person must do that. It's a fight. You want to come to do business honestly, you have to go through the test. There's no milk, by the way. There was milk, but it was actually cheese. So there is before Yazoreh to Masa Matan Be'emuna, and to give birth and make money b'kedusha, you have to be misgaber me'oid, but in a time when you're esek Masa Matan, not to fall into greed, into the lust of greed, chas v'sholem. Only your Masa Matan, your business dealing should be really, really be'emuna. And then completely ignore and steer away from all the thoughts and all the confusions and all the taivas moment. I'm going to make it, forget about it. I mean, this is like, whoa, unbelievable. I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to make a kill. What the heck am I going to do? With all this money, I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to buy myself a yacht. Maybe a small airplane. Maybe helicopter. From the yacht to the airplane. Rakol kavanos yeh b'shvel Hashem Yisborach. The entire kavanah will be for Hashem Yisborach. What does it mean for Hashem Yisborach? Sheyizke la'avoz Hashem Yisborach al yedei hamomon sheyarviach. That you should be zocher, that you should merit to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the money that you will make. And litan tzedakah lachzik loim d'Torah v'evdei Hashem, and to give tzedakah, to prop up those who learn Torah and those who serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have to understand, Avodas Hashem, it says, Mi oiset tzedakah b'chol eis, ashrei oiset tzedakah b'chol eis. Happy are those, fortunate are those who do tzedakah at all time. Who are those? It says, Ze azan, Ishtov Nebeso, the one who gives parnasa to his wife and to his children and to his family members. You need to earn money. If a person owes money, you need to earn money, and to earn money in order to pay your debts is earning money l'shem shemayim. L'shem shemayim. It'll be only b'kedusha. The thing is that there is this inyan of money you can see with the bracha of Mechayim Esim, that it says, Mechalkel Chaim b'chesed, that sustains life with great chesed, Mechayim Esim b'rachamim rabim. It's like Tweedledum and Tweedledee, they're going together, that gives us the people and resuscitates and is Mechayim Esim, that brings up the dead. What's the connection? because a person needs to understand. First of all, there's no such thing, another thing, that the person needs more consistently from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like money. Health, basically, K'dayin Ora, we're healthy. Here, problem, there, problem, whatever it is. It's very rare that some people have to contend, with an illness that they need a Kodesh Baruch Hu, for that particular thing every single day of their lives. Yeah, towards the end, this is what happens. But derech klal, a normal person, whatever it is, that's not the major thing on this. The same thing with Shlom Bayis. Yeah, there's certain periods which are easier, certain periods which are harder. And then, you go through periods, and then it's normal, then whatever it is, you go through midlife crisis, you go through all kinds of beseder. But it's not a constant thing. Sometimes things are okay. Or in the beginning it's wonderful, and then it becomes awful, and then it becomes, okay, that's who we are, and you just go along with it. But money is something that the need is a renewable need. You need it all the time, brand new, all the time. The thing is that a person needs to learn that the first two questions is being asked in the Shemayim after he leaves this world, which, I don't know if you knew about it, but we all do, eventually. I'm sorry if it comes to you as a shock, but the first two questions, at first, Kavata itim la Torah, did you set time to learn Torah? And I learned from my Rosh Yeshiva many, many years ago. He says, what does it mean, Kavata itim la Torah? It says, Torah, make your Torah kva, that's the main thing, that's the fixed thing. Umalachtecha arai, and your malacha should be, like a secondary, like a, the thing that you can, sometimes yes, sometimes not, whatever. I said, but most people can't do that. Most people have to, first of all, they can't learn all day. Even if they wanted to, they can't. And secondly, most people, they need to work. And most of the day, they have to spend working. I mean, what can you do? So he explained to me, it's not the percentage of time that you spend on each thing. It's what is the ikar, what is the main thing, and what is the tafel, what is the secondary thing. He says, even if you learn Torah for 5 minutes a day, this 5 minutes, this is the fixed object. You work before it, you work after it, you work, around it, whatever it is, but this is the center. How much you learn how much you can. Sometimes a person is ADD, he can learn for a minute. Then you have to take another sefer and he has to learn. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a little or it's a lot. It's the same thing, the same principles we spoke about, Shmiras Sabris. You have to do it's a matter of attitude. What is the kviyas? The same thing is when you're doing the malacha for masa matan, there's nothing that you do every single day and you need every single day like parnasa. So the main milchama is over here. The main war is over here to do it honestly, to do a masa matan b'emunah. That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing. It's a constant thing. Mind you, we said it before, but there are two secrets that a person needs to know about the struggle of parnasa. If you don't go crazy, if you don't become desperate, 99.9999% of your money problems somehow becomes okay. It finds a solution. If you'll notice, like 5 months ago, and 3 days and 5 hours. You had an unbelievable money problem. I did. That's the second thing. From all the problems in a personal life, money problems is the only thing that once it's solved, it leaves no residue. Every other problem, it makes a person bitter, it is a post-traumatic syndrome, whatever it is. Money problem, the minute there's the money to pay, it's like it never existed. It's gone. It's gone. There's no, it doesn't make a scratch on you. Nothing. It's nothing.
And it's seemingly the most anguish, the most pain when you're in it.
Right. It's gone. It's like it wasn't even there. It's an illness. Somebody becomes, was involved in an accident or whatever it is. It leaves an imprint that either leaves a person after a very long time, or a person has to learn how to live with it, or whatever. Money, the minute the problem is gone, it's like smoke. Forget about it. It never existed. But the minute that it is there, it looks like... This is why the main test is dafka on this inyan of Amunah. Dafka, the minute of Amunah. When you're doing business. That's the main thing. And you're going to do this, and you'll have a taiva, to do things, which is, taiva small and whatever it is, and you have to go through this. And you have to, and the thing is, if I only tell them this, if I only tell them that, whatever it is, and it's not clear to you what is allowed and what is not allowed. Your kavanah should be for Hashem Yisbarach. Hashem Yisbarach means sustain your family, pay your debts, live like a normal Jew, whatever it is, and to give tzedakah. To give tzedakah, and who you should give tzedakah, you should look to people who sit and learn Torah, and people who are Ovdei Hashem. Obviously, to give money for food for people is an incredibly important thing. But it says, but the biggest tzedakah is basically you're planting a seed. When you're planting a seed, you want to plant it dafka in a place where in a good ground, a fertile ground that will grow the most. The most fertile ground are people who learn Torah and people who serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the best place to put your money because this is where it grows. This is why a person's sustenance is twice as difficult as a woman giving birth. Because a woman is giving birth, she has to go through, from birthing pain. She has to shout 70 voices before she gives birth. The Achab, however, over here, the 140 voices, that the Shechina screams, Chas v'sholem, Kalani Mizroi, my head is heavy, Kalani Mizroi, my arm is heavy, on those that fall into Taivas moment. The Kodeshim Havichi moment, and before you actually make money, you have to go, you have to pass, you have to be tried, and you have to be cleansed through these 140 voices. Call HaKadosh Baruch Hu 140 voices to shout and to be mispal to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to get over these machshavas and be saved from them. That's why the sustenance of a person is twice as difficult as giving birth. Over there is 70 voices, and here is 140 voices, and you should understand. The point is, in order to get to understand something, when a person, we know that the highest avodas Hashem there is to go to Kadosh Baruch Hu and to speak to Him like a person who is speaking to a really, really good friend. In your own language, your own words. You connect yourself to the true tzaddikim, all the true tzaddikim, those in this generation, those of previous generation, especially your Rebbe, because they are the one who elevate the tefillas. And then you open up and you speak to Kadosh Baruch Hu and you tell them exactly what's in your heart. And the secret of 140 voices, as opposed to 70 voices that the Yoledes calls out, is that if you go to make his Vedas without, just normally you go, you say, okay, set myself an hour, half an hour, 5 minutes, whatever it is, I'm going to talk to Hashem. First, you have to break through the crust of your Olam Hazadike perspective. You're talking to Hashem now, but you're used to talking to people. So you're talking to Hashem. Hello. And you're just like, you don't know who you're talking to. What I'm supposed to look up? Is he up there? He's supposed to be everywhere, but all I see everywhere is everywhere. So you start talking to Hashem, and you got all these things that you really need to talk to Hashem about, and nothing comes out. So you don't know why is that nothing comes out. How do I break through this sound barrier, so to speak, and start talking to Hashem? The easiest eitzah, the easiest advice, is take one thing. You take one subject. If it's parnasa, it's a midara, a problem with a specific taiva, and just give it half an hour of talking only about this. You don't need to be original. You can repeat yourself 1,000 times. No problem. Hashem, help me with this. Please help me with this. Please help me with this. You feel like you're talking to a human being. I'm going to repeat myself. And he says, okay, I got it. I heard you enough. No, this is a Kodesh Baruch Hu. And you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it, and you repeat it. And as you repeat it, as you're repeating it, and you say it, and you find a word like this, a word like this, and you're looking, and you realize that you're not really clear on what is the root, what is the nub of the matter that you are actually looking for. So, Yaakov Baruch Hu, do me a favor, clarify for me, what am I asking for? What am I looking for? I don't have the words for it. So maybe I'm asking about the wrong thing altogether. And then you get into it. And once you get into it, I mean, and suddenly things open. And suddenly you find things in yourself. You find things in yourself that you never realized before. You find that you say, Ribono Shel Olam, let me make masa matan be'emunah. Let me make masa matan be'emunah. Okay, so let's say that my problem is that I have a lust for money. Fine. Let me tell you a secret. Most people have some lust for money, but they don't really. If they really had the lust for money, they would be rich. The thing is, most of the time, the reason why I don't cry to Kodesh Baruch Hu for parnasa is because I have, don't tell anybody, I have some emunah problems that I'm not absolutely sure that Kodesh Baruch Hu is on my side. I'm not always convinced. Yes, I'm a frum guy and everything, and it's beautiful, blah, 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 but... עד כאן הכופר.